Hey, welcome back everyone to another episode of TED Talk Stamps. Well, we did it. We finally got moved in. We're in our permanent home in Funchal, Madeira right now. We're not renting, so don't have to worry about any, expiring lease contracts or anything. I'm here for the duration. We've been busy the last several weeks doing, furniture shopping, drapery shopping, all that stuff. We're basically done though. We still have to get a TV and a TV stand, but that's no biggie, no hurry about that. So basically, I'm back to normal, and hopefully, I can start getting these videos out on a more frequent basis now. And speaking of which, let me know what topics you have. I know some people have made suggestions. They've sent me, left me comments or sent me emails. Uh, if you have done so in the past, go ahead, send me again, remind me, because you know these emails or messages get I try to make notes of all these requests, but sometimes I don't get around to it, and then I don't know which where the comment is anymore, or or the email, or who sent it. So go ahead and just send me your requests again or suggestions for video topics, and I'll get on them. So the topic for this episode is, as you see from the thumbnail, the Stamp-O-Lympics. Seems that the last several years, countries have been trying to outdo themselves on issuing the world's longest stamps. So I tried to find a short history of those, at least as far back as I really cared to go. I got back to 2011 when Sri Lanka released this stamp. It's actually a souvenir sheet that contains one stamp, and that was issued to commemorate the 25th anniversary of the Viceroy Special Steam Train. This is a picture of the whole souvenir sheet here, and you can, of course, see the stamp within it. It's of normal height, but the length or width of it is 175 millimeters, which for as of the year 2011 was the world's longest stamp. And that record stood for 11 years, until 2022 when Kyrgyzstan claimed the gold medal, setting a new Stamp-O-Lympics record in the long stamp event. With the release of this stamp showing a mountain panorama measuring 184 millimeters long, breaking the old record by 9 millimeters. However, things started heating up then, and just 2 years later, in June of 2024, a new record was set by the Philippines PHL Post with a stamp noting the 125th anniversary of the First Philippine Republic. This stamp beat Kyrgyzstan's record by 16 millimeters, weighing in at a length of 200 millimeters, a new world record. That didn't last long either. That record lasted only a mere 2 months. In August 2024, Sri Lanka recaptured the gold medal it had relinquished to Kyrgyzstan by releasing this stamp that measured 205 millimeters long, barely nosing out the Philippines record holder stamp by less than 2/10 of an inch. Once again, that celebration was short-lived. Only 4 months later, just last month in December 2024, Philippines again, PHL Post released a new Stamp-O-Lympics record-breaking long stamp with an issue that was a whopping 29 millimeters longer than Sri Lanka's. This stamp measured 234 millimeters long. For the metrically challenged among us, that's 9.2 inches, or just a skosh more. Now I've made a comparative graphic here to show you the progression from 2011. And the stamps that I show you will all be in proper scale, that is, in relation to each other. So in 2011, we had Sri Lanka with a 175 millimeter stamp. In 2022, Kyrgyzstan came out with their 184 millimeter stamp, followed in June of 2024 by the Philippines at 200 millimeters, and then Sri Lanka again in August of 2024 with a stamp measuring 205 millimeters. And then back again to the Philippines just last month with a 234 millimeter stamp. Now, perhaps this marketing tactic is working for the postal services involved. I mean, Sri Lanka and Philippines have, issued repeat long stamps. So, evidently they made money on the previous one. And you'll notice too that these long stamps, like most unusual stamps, with unusual materials and whatnot, they have really high face values, which goes away towards helping them turn a profit on them. On the Sri Lanka stamp of August, it had a 500 rupee face value, which is, only the equivalent of US $1.70. However, that's 10 times the face value, the 50R value of every other stamp that was issued during 2024. So the sale of one long stamp brings the Postal Service as much as 10 regular stamps. The Philippines also placed an absurdly high denomination of 200 Philippine pesos, which is the equivalent of US $3.44 on their stamp. That's over 11 times the highest standard letter rate of 18p. But regardless of how one feels about the postal systems, releasing these 5 face value novelty stamps that are meant only to please collectors. The sad fact is that most postal services around the world are still, losing quite a bit of money on their regular letter mail anyways. For example, just this past fiscal year 2024, the U.S. Postal Service announced a deficit of $9.5 billion, and that was up from 2023's $6.5 billion. So unless people, suddenly get nostalgic for sending Hallmark cards for birthdays, Christmas, Halloween, Easter, graduation, or the utility companies stop accepting automatic bank debits for payments, well, there doesn't seem to be much hope for reversing these losses. However, remember the Y2K problem, where, once the year 2000 rolled over, it was going to wreak havoc with all the computer systems? Well, it looks like we dodged that bullet. A lot of IT professionals worked, feverishly, around the clock, recoding all the computers to make sure that we didn't suffer that Y2K glitch that wiped out all of the IRS data. But there's still hope. There's another danger lurking right around the corner. Well, it's a kind of a wide, long corner right now. It's the Unix year 2038 problem, which basically is the same as the Y2K problem. Come the year 2038, then computer systems, the way they store the dates is coming, to an end. And we got the danger of the Y2K problem coming up again. Perhaps with a little luck, I don't mean that, but maybe this time though, if things don't quite go right, maybe the whole world will get sent back into the pen and paper age, and then the postage stamp will be saved. Of course, that's not likely, but it will be interesting to see how much life there is still left in the old postage stamp. It doesn't matter though, I think it's a relatively small percentage of collectors that, collect new issues anyways. If the post, just like Iceland has already quit issuing any more stamps, collectors still look for the old Iceland stamps. If every other country in the world stops issuing stamps, Wow, there's billions of stamps still out there to hunt for and collect. So I'm not worried about the sky falling, and I hope you're not either. So anyways, that's a look at the Stamp-O-Lympics for the long stamp event. Hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you'll like and subscribe the video if you liked the video and would like to subscribe. And as I said, send in your suggestions for other topics to cover. And until then, this is Ted the Talking Stamp Collector wishing you all happy stamping.